Alright, has recording started? Okay. Hey there, I'm back with another video from your boy. Check it out. So I've uploaded 2 videos because I haven't really been uploading anything lately. I'm gonna get back on the Minecraft series later, but I just can't really find the motivation to finish it. But okay, I'm gonna try to get back to that thing soon. I'll have to wait another week for that. Anyway, so my family owns this car, actually. This is, I'm pretty sure, the 3rd generation model of the BMW X5. They were produced from 2013 to 2018, and my family, I think we own the 2015 version. This SUV is pretty good. We bought it for like about 70,000, which actually is quite a lot lower than the car's original price. But it was used, of course. So, this car, it's basically like the basically like the X2 that I just reviewed, but a bit different. You see, it's still got aggressive styling. Actually, I don't think you can see my mouse cursor, but it's got aggressive styling, of course. I see all these weird vents and lines, and these side vents on the bumper, they don't work either. I've checked them on my car, they don't work. The kidney grills and these 2 bottom grills, I'm pretty sure they do work. As you can see, this one's headlights aren't angled as much as the X2's headlights, that's why I mentioned that in that video. But it's got, if not more, of these extreme angle lines. Like you can see on the doors and the fender, another line that extends to the rear tail light. A prominent feature in most modern BMWs, I'm pretty sure. It started appearing in lots of BMWs. And I'm not really sure why they started going for the aggressive styling in the car. And our car actually has the exact same rims as this one, but it's white. So the car, I've ridden in it, it handles pretty decently. The car's ride quality is great. It can take bumps pretty well, although it is a bit shaky. It rides on air suspension, I'm pretty sure. And there's a problem with that because recently our car's rear airbags, they deflated. We had to go to service to fix those. That's my only problem with the air suspension that this car has. I'm pretty sure it has air suspension because that's what happened. So it seemed to have happened to the car. The rear airbags seem to have popped, so that's why I'm thinking that it has air suspension. Air suspension rides good. It's got great quality. Multiple modes like most BMWs nowadays. Although my family rarely ever uses the sport mode, mostly just the comfort one, because we don't go fast in it. The car does have some power to it. Unlike the X2, it does have some V8 engine options. I'm certain that it has at least 1 V8 petrol option and at least maybe 2 V8 diesel options. My car has, I'm not sure how much horsepower it makes, maybe 290 something. It's a diesel V8, twin turbocharged diesel V8, making, I don't know, somewhere around 300, maybe 200 horsepower. I'm not really sure, but it's a diesel, so it isn't really made for too much horsepower. This car probably doesn't handle too good on the track. Actually, gonna flip to the next slide. This car probably doesn't handle too good on the track due to the fact that it's an SUV, sports utility vehicle. It has a relatively high center of mass. SUVs have been known to roll over due to that. When cornering, they have a higher chance to roll over than other vehicles. Maybe they do, so that's why, we don't take sharp turns anyway. The car also has a pretty high cargo capacity, and this rear cargo area is pretty big and pretty good for hauling things. It's spacious in there. It's comfortable. I don't know if leather seats are leather interiors like a standard on these cars. Maybe my family has a higher trim level, but my family has a leather interior and it's simply wonderful. The leather smells nice, and it's just overall a joy to sit in the car. Great to be in there. It feels great. It handles great. You've got plenty of space to shift and move around. You can even just lay down and enjoy everything. The radio is pretty good. This car that my family has, I think has a few audio modifications to the radio and stuff, so it's a bit improved. And the sound system is pretty good in this car. I like it. And Jesus, this styling is so aggressive. Like, jeez, I know this is a sports utility vehicle, but come on, this isn't a dang race car. Like, oh my gosh, look at all these lines. Look at that line on the rear bumper. Why is that there? Why does it just stick out like that? What purpose is that for it? It doesn't even go anywhere. It just looks kind of dumb. And you can see the vent on the fender. Like, why is that there? To cool the engine or something? It doesn't. It looks too sporty for this car. Or, you know? And there's this extreme line going across us the entire fender, through the door handles, and into the rear light where it just disappears for no reason. It too has a spoiler going on in the back, and it can appear sporty, although it isn't exactly sporty. And it's got somewhat of a rear diffuser with dual exhausts. My model also has dual exhausts. The bumper, the car's overall shape makes you instantly recognize that it's a BMW, it's a sports utility vehicle. Now, this one's roof isn't as low as the X2's, but I'd say that this roof is still really low for like an SUV. As you can see, the front end is larger than the roof, as larger than the front windshield as on the X2 and other models. As you can also see that the front end is of course big and stands out, and it doesn't slope down like most other rear ends. The car's body itself does slope down, of course. You can see the giant difference in height between the rear of the car and the front of the car, as it really just curves down. That does make it look sportier. And yes, there are lines on the hood. I'm not sure why they're there, probably just to be a bit more aerodynamic. I don't know. But what I like about this car is that it doesn't have that weird plastic stuff that the X2 had. I'm really grateful for that. But however, as you can see, the license plate is mounted on the trunk in the middle of the rear of the car. That's kind of something that has changed with the new X models, that most of them have a license plate which is lower down, more closer to the bumper, or like in the bumper of the car. I think that's also on the newest X5, and that one has the weird, stupid, like big grills that I don't like. Anyway, it's time to wrap this up, so I'm gonna give this car a rating. I'll rate its styling about a 7 out of 10. No, an 8 out of 10. Like, this aggressive styling is just, like, you don't need it. It's a sports utility vehicle, sure, but it's just too aggressive. It feels like it's been styled as a race car. I just don't really like it, though. But I do kind of like the way it looks. Ride quality is about 9 out of 10, I'd say. It rides really good, comfortable in there. The suspension doesn't bounce around too much, but of course the airbags, they can sometimes pop, and that's not a good thing. Maybe air suspension isn't a standard option on this vehicle, but maybe it is, and that's a problem that I have with the air suspension that can come on this vehicle. I think air suspension is being used in like BMWs, right? I'm not sure. But I'll give the engine of this car a solid, no, the engine option is like a solid 8, because it's got good engine options. I think it definitely has inline options like diesel and petrol, because most BMWs on the road have those engine options for fuel efficiency and just good power delivery. And I'm pretty sure the car is also quite responsive. And the diesel twin turbo V8 that my car has, it just sounds amazing. Like the grumble of the engine and the revving it just sounds so nice. And the acceleration is nice and smooth. Like I could barely even feel the turbo kicking in. It's like the engine feels naturally aspirated. It's great. It's just wonderful. It's probably also fuel efficient too, since it's a diesel. And overall, this car is great. I like having it. I like driving it, and I'd like to drive it myself someday. So, bye.